And Sakata closest to us, number 13. A late arrival joins us, Alvaro, I think.
But it's Gramini we've got to watch for the green light. Who's going to get the flyer? Gramini on the Aprilia is the World Championship leader at the moment. He snatched it at Donington Park. Wait for the man with the red flag to do a runner. He certainly won't get it. Oh, there's the green flag at the back, so watch for the lights now. They will go very briefly. Red, green, and it's away. They paddle those 125s away, scoot as fast as they possibly can into the first turn, and yes, it looks like the Aprilia man of Gramini. Is it or isn't it?
It looked like it, Keith, and I think Alvaro, number 59, was second into the first corner. That looks like it. Number 59, Alvaro, a replacement, the same colours as Bruno Casanova, Scott Aprilia team. Bruno, don't forget, wears number 15. His new teammate, Alvaro, wears 59.
Well, we're going to be waiting to see when we pick up. Look at this, the usual 125 melee going on behind, but Gramini, unheard of the amount of 125 lead he has at the moment.
Is that Wakai in second?
Well, that's a worry if it is. No.
Third, I mean, Keith. It's certainly Alvaro in second. It's a Scott Aprilia in second. That's got to be Alvaro. Surely Casanova can't come through. Who is that in third? That's one of the 7 levels I recognise. Got to get a bit close to him.
Well, that looked to me like Harry Molinar.
It did, didn't it?
Harry Molinar. Now, I can't be absolutely sure. We're looking now at the start from our overhead, and you can see how much they're all weaving, jockeying in for position, scooting those bikes, trying to get them off the line, slipping the clutch as fast as they can into the first turn. So, we know who the leader is, but we have yet to pick up exactly who second place man is. There's your leader, Gramini on the Aprilia. Series leader as well, Alessandro Gramini, 59. That is who is in there.
Alvaro.
Luis Alvaro is the man in second place. Well.
And it is 35 for Delia in third, Keith. Well, well, well. The 125 apple cart is being upset. And you want some romance? Gramini wins a world title, Keith. Italian rider on Italian motorcycle. The Italian press will go, well, there's Charlie Giro, 31 at the back. Steve Patrickson there as well. But can this be a 125 Grand Prix with a lead like this on the first lap?
Well, John Peel came here to Sky Sports for romance. Is he going to find it in the 125 race? That's what we have to ask him a bit later.
Fifth place is Gresini, followed by Debbia. So the big boys are gathering, but Gramini is taking advantage, Keith, of the lesser lights in second and third, let's call them that, somewhat uncharitably. Alessandro, Alex to his friends, is often. He's doing a Wayne Rainey on us.
Well, more than that, he really is on a flyer, isn't he? He knows he's leading this World Championship with just another round to go, and certainly is not going to let anybody get in between him and the championship, that's for sure. I don't know, it looks like he's riding a 250.
Measure that motorcycle. But Keith, we'll go through the mathematics later because it is so close at the top. 4 men could easily win the world title. They are Gramini, Gresini, Waldman and Gianola. Those are the personalities we need to look out for. Now, who's second? That's Dirk Rowdish through to second, with Debbia in third.
Yeah, just 8 people, 8 points, I should say, are the first 4 places. 8 points cover the first 4 places, and that's how close this World Championship is at the moment. But at the moment, and at the head of that table, is Gramini, this man, bike 39, and doing a good job again. Well, problem is, of course, when we get back to the studio, we're going to have Andy Kershaw giving us a real hard time over boring racing. Gramini, Rowdies, Alvaro, Debbia, Gresini and Badelier are your race order at the moment.
Although we did see Debbia had already made that captain out of date. That's quite usual in 125 Grand Prix racing, as we always say. Gramini, Keith, Alessandro Gramini, a man rumoured to be in line for a 250 ride next year, but we'll get to the rumours later, shall we? Little Dirk Rowdies in second. Then it's Debbia number 4, then it's Alvaro, then it's Gianola and Wacko. There's Gresini number 2 gone through, away to number 5.
Baldwin was in there as well. 3, Baldwin was right well down. Well, I think Baldwin can kiss his World Championship goodbye. He led it by a mile before, but certainly he was in big trouble.
Keith, about 5th place at the moment. The man who has made most progress from his qualifying position, Bruno Casanova, has come through from 22nd on the grid to 5th place. Your chump from the Donington Preview programme. One of our heroes, the ever-jovial Bruno Casanova.
Yeah, someone told me he spoke English. They lied.
He was wonderful. There he is, number 15, just going through. Wakai's in that group as well. Oh, there's trouble. There's Ueda gone through. We're back with the leader, Alessandro Gramini. Oh, Dirk Rowdies right with him.
Rowdies right with him, and Casanova's in third there, Julie. There's a jump on you.
Yes. Oh, we are Bruno Casanova fans, unashamed Bruno Casanova fans. He is the fastest man on the track. Then it's Debbia, then it's Gianola, another man with a shout of the championship. just going past Cassini. There's Waldman, Keith, mired back in the pack. I think the German, well, after 4 races, we've got him penciled in for the title. What a nightmare he's had in the second half of the year.
What a nightmare. Did you see Sakata there, number 13, barging his way through? Sakata, the pole man, looks absolutely desperate, as usual. There is a man who I don't recognise, but maybe you do.
It's one of the Gazzaniga riders. It's not Vitali, it's the other Gazzaniga rider. How's that? And Rowdies has got the lead, Keith. Rowdies has gone through while we were observing a casualty. Dear me, there's a turn up for the books. Alessandro Grimini relegated to second. It's only the second time this year we've seen Rowdies lead a 125 Grand Prix. The other was his home at Hockenheim. Keith, here's the pass.
Let's have a look at that. He's right on the rear end of Grimini, and Grimini, well, we look to see quite how the move was made. Grimini on the wide side, and I bet it's going to be an opportunist pass right up the inside on the brakes into the right-hander. Yes, it is. Well, brilliantly timed indeed. Grimini left him a bit of a door open there, though, didn't he? He'll like be doing that if he gets in front again. Well, I don't think he's going to, judging by the way Rowdies is pulled away in just half a lap. Brilliant stuff from the German.
The man who has never won a Grand Prix, Dirk Rowdies. There's second and third place dice, Keith, Grimini and Casanova. And I think we have here in the second and third place dice, Keith, the 2 best men on brakes in the class. And this is going to get a bit interesting because Bruno wants that second place rather badly.
Yeah, but I take the point that Andy Kershaw brought to our attention, just in case we were asleep, that Grimini does look like he's sort of slowed off pace-wise, and Casanova's come right back up to him. But it is very, very difficult to know who's slowing and who's speeding up, really, considering we've got no yardstick from qualifying really to go with.
Yes, but certainly Grimini got out the gate like a startled greyhound, opened up an immediate lead, and then had it immediately taken off him by Dirk Rowdies, who, don't forget, the little German is over a second and a half in the lead. As what a nice clean move by Bruno. Grimini invited him through there by the look of it.
Very similar there. I mean, I've got to say, Grimini looked to me like he left the door wide open for Casanova. That's the second time he did. First Rowdies slipped through on him, and now Casanova. Look at Casanova grabbing down gears there into the left-hander. Well, what can Grimini do? Grimini finds himself in difficulty in third place, really. Casanova, you can't expect him to drop back after that manoeuvre.
Well, but Grimini is in front of the 3 guys who he's in contention with for the title, so maybe it won't bother him that much. However, we have 2 Aprilia riders there in second and third. I wonder whether Bruno might reopen the door and go back through it later in the race. Martinez in 4th, Keith. Now, there's a man up from 24th place. Aspar Martinez, the multiple world champion. Clear, he will be very happy of... That's interesting. Gianola and Gresini are next along in front of Wackeye. So those are the guys who really have to get themselves organised and try and get up to Grimini. I doubt they can do it, quite honestly, but it's Aspar back to something like his old form. He's only Rostrum of the Year in France, 3rd place. He does look good on a motorcycle, this man, doesn't he? What class.
So, off the front is Rowdies. Julian prepares the point standing. We're looking at Grimini, who is the leader of the championship up to this race. Jules.
Right, those of you with the calculators can take notes. Grimini has 110 points, Gresini 108, Waldman 106, and Gianola 101. Nowadays, there are 20 points for a win, 15 for a second, 12 for a third, then it's 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the end of the proceedings. So, Grimini will do his chances a power of good just by the second place he has at the moment in front of Bruno Casanova. Bear in mind there are 2 Aprilia riders there. So I think, given the evidence we have seen in the past, I would be surprised to see Bruno lead Grimini over the line if they are in this sort of close contact at the end of proceedings.
Oh, and a yellow flag out. So then, we've got a yellow flag out. Who's dropped it in that corner? That's a well-placed marshal for the camera position anyway. Up next, just somebody that's broken down. We're looking to see who that is. That looks like Steve Patrickson to me. So Steve Patrickson, the Brit, comes to an end down in Brazil. Wackeye, though, there in 6th, confirmation of that.
As Wackeye said, Keith, that the only time he's been able to get beneath the screen this season was when he had that one ride on the 250 Suzuki in Germany. That is indeed Steve Patrickson, just to confirm what Keith Ewan said earlier. Steve Patrickson, number 36, a man who has had a sad, sad season in the Grand Prix. And really, it has to be said, and I think Steve has said it, that it will be his last Grand Prix year.
Well, it's tough out there for sure. It's tough to find the funding and everything for it, and Steve really struggling with the results, and certainly you can't get them. And look at Fausto Gresini now. I was about to say you can't get them when they break down, and Fausto Gresini's about to grab that place. So Fausto Gresini then goes through into 6th place, drops Wackeye down to 7th. Gresini, bike number 2, goes through to 6th place. Can he make any progress up to 5th?
If he stays there, Keith, that's 6 points instead of 4. That could be vital when they get to South Africa. Every place counts for these men in this race at Brazil. Confirmation, Fausto Gresini through to 6th.
So, Rowdies then. Blitz in the field. I bet he's surprised a few people here this weekend. It'll be interesting to see once he gets on this high note, just what he can achieve down in South Africa. He's not got a lot to do as far as the championship positions are concerned. Remember, I've already said he's down in 6th, and even with this race win, that won't bump him up to 5th. So, really, Rowdies, maybe we're looking for another win down in South Africa.
That would put the cat amongst the Italians.
14 seconds. Down to Martinez in 2nd place. So then, off our monitors, and we didn't see that anywhere, Martinez is now through to 2nd place. Well, he did make a bit of a move on Gramini. We knew he was catching them. We knew he was on the tail of Gramini and Casanova, and Martinez has slid through off of our monitors. We hope we see that a bit later on for you and we can bring it to you, but really, unbelievable. Martinez did look like the fastest man on the track a little bit earlier. We said about it, but we've missed it so far. There it is then. Dirk Rowdies from Jorge Martinez, from Bruno Casanova, Gramini, Petrucciani in that brilliant 5th, with Gresini a fight in 6th at the moment. But the hot stuff really is Martinez coming through. He's just 14 seconds behind Rowdies now, but that's too great a distance for him to do anything about.
Gramini, Keith, flew to 3rd. I wonder if Bruno did the gentlemanly thing there. Let his works teammate, as opposed to semi-works man, come through and try and attack Aspar and get 2nd place and extend Gramini's lead over Gresini in the title chase.
Well, one thing for sure, if he did it, he wouldn't have wanted to do it, whether he was supposed to or not. I think that's all we can say about that, and we're not going to know the politics of it because they're not going to tell us.
No way, Keith. One word about Aspar for you, Keith. He has 36 Grand Prix wins to his credit. That is the most of any solo rider still competing in Grand Prix level. There's a measure of the class of the man.
Well, this man is on for his 1st Grand Prix win, it has to be said. So then, the last lap, Dirk Rowdies, Mr. Immaculate, alongside Wayne Rainey's 500 Grand Prix win. It's got to be said, Dirk Rowdies really has done an unbelievable job here. He's not put a wheel wrong anywhere on the track, in our view anyway. He's kept it all when we're off monitor. But Dirk Rowdies, superb. He's going to win this race by a mile, and they're really going to wonder where he got it all from.
Yep, we know he had straight line speed in Hockenheim, but the way he's ridden this tricky Interlagos circuit, if you'd have painted him red and white, you'd have said it was Aspar, wouldn't you, on that Honda?
Well, of course, you've just brought us a nice little link there to the 2nd, 3rd and 4th place battle that's going on somewhere behind them, and I wish we could get a bit of a picture of that as Dirk Rowdies comes down the left-hander now. Dirk Rowdies, just a little way to go. So, Rowdies is going to win this race. I can't imagine anything, even if he had to coast across the line now, he's going to do it. So, Dirk Rowdies then, the German, taking his 1st Grand Prix win through the chicane. They put that in there especially to slow the bikes down because that's the most dangerous corner on the track. Dirk Rowdies, race leader. We look back to see what's going on behind him as Dirk Rowdies takes the race win. Dirk Rowdies then wins the 125 Brazilian Grand Prix in fine style, but it's the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th that I'm really waiting for, Julian, and they are going to be some 13 seconds behind this man. So here it is. Let's have a look. Martinez gets 2nd. Who's going to get 3rd? Well, that looked to me like that was Casanova. Or was it?
I wonder if Gramini was having a bit of a linguistics there with the old Italian hand-waving.
Well, of course, Italians, they don't actually connect. Well, there it is. Rowdies got it from Martinez, and Casanova got the 3rd place. Well, good for Bruno, I have to say. Gramini, well, wasn't happy, and that's not done him very good as far as his championship's concerned, because he just loses those couple of points.
Yes, but with the other title contenders finishing well down, Keith, maybe nobody put out the board saying team orders. Maybe Bruno ignored it, I don't know.
I don't think there would have been team orders so much as a gentlemanly agreement between the two, and I think they've now fallen out as far as that's concerned. Confirmation then of the race result for the 125 Brazilian Grand Prix. Dirk Rowdies wins from Jorge Martinez, from Alessandro Gramini in 3rd. Bruno Casanova pushed back to 4th. Petrucciani in 5th, and Fausto Grassini in 6th. Now then, where is Ueda in 7th, Wakai in 8th, 9th is Carlos Giro, a great performance from his qualifying position. 10th is Gianola, Debbia is 11th, and Luc Badelier is in 12th, bringing up the rear. Steiff in 13th, Sakata, the poleman, down in 14th. Ralph Folman, well, he was a series leader once, in 15th. Oliver Kopp 16th, Shimizu 17th, Hernandez in 18th. Molinar 19th, Robin Appleyard, we were waiting for him in 20th. Remember, Steve Patrickson retired. Palmieri in 21, Abol 22, Luti in 23, and Johnny Wickstrom, the Finnish rider, in 24th place. Championship standings then, up to and including the Brazilian Grand Prix. Gramini on 122, Grassini 114, Waldmans in 3rd, Gianola 4th, Bruno Casanova in 5th, and the brilliant Dirk Rowdy's Brazilian Grand Prix winner in 6th place on 81 points.
Well, Keith, the top 3 can still definitely win the championship, but if Gianola wins in South Africa and Gramini scores no points, they'll be dead level on points. We'll have to count back on victories. That's going to be interesting, isn't it? But for sure, South Africa is going to be the showdown for the 125s. That's all from the 125s in Brazil. Let's go and have a short break before the verdict with Paul Dempsey and guests.
Starting grid positions, Max Biaggi, Maximilio Biaggi gets pole. Loris Reggiani on the Aprilia in 2nd place, and Julian's man, Doriano Romboni, in 3rd on the grid. Bringing up the rear on the front row is that man, Pier Francesco Chili, world champion this year, 92, Luca Cadalora in 5th, Capirossi 6th, Carlos Lovato, the veteran, in 7th, and Jochen Schmidt in 8th. Helmut Bradl, well, a disappointment this year, there's no doubt about that. 2nd place in last year's World Championship, but in 9th in qualifying here in Brazil. Preining 10th, Jean-Philippe Rougier 11th, Puig 12th, Jürgen van der Gorberg, the Dutchman, in 13th, Bruno Kastner in 14th, Dantan 15th, and Wilco Zeilenberg on the Lucky Strike 250 Suzuki right down the bottom there. And we're looking for a bit more interest. Matsuhiro Shimizu in 19th. He's a man that could bring up something in the race. Katsoli in 23rd and Kazono in 24th. Luis Lovato, not a bad qualifying position for him, I suppose, in 26th, while we look down the list, and Hangeli, the Swiss, on the Aprilia at the bottom of the page in 32nd place.
The field comes round after the warm-up lap to form up. I must tell you, we've lost one of the wild card riders, Walter Catania, an Aprilia rider from Argentina. He went down on the sighting lap.
He didn't actually go down, he broke down in tears when I saw him. He was thumping the tank and looked the man most miffed by the breakdown of the motorbike.
And wouldn't you too? And Luca Cadalora, Keith, his motorbike had some problems before the start of this warm-up lap.
Yep, wouldn't chime into action at all after they'd had their sighting lap. It certainly looked like a most reluctant motorbike. We wait now for them to take their final positions on the grid. Man with a red flag waits for man with green flag at the back of the grid when they're all on their spots.
I'd rather have the green flag job myself.
Yeah, me too. So, good point. I can see why. So, we wait for the brief red and the green. Looking now at Max Biaggi, there's the green flag, wait for it, there's the green. So the green light goes. Is pole position man Max Biaggi going to be able to make anything of that? No, he's not. First man in is going to be Cadalora, or is it?
Reggiani was just inside him, but Cadalora made an amazing break from the inside of the second row.
But it's Biaggi that's in the lead. Biaggi did get it in the end, managed to muscle his way through into the second turn, and Biaggi, the pole sitter, grabs that front position.
That's the most hectic first corner of the day. Biaggi leads Cadalora from, it looks like, Keeley in 3rd place, the Telcor Valesi Aprilias. There is Max Biaggi from Cadalora. And is it Keeley? Yes, it is Keeley in 3rd. 4th is Alberto Puig.
Well, I think this 250 race is going to be quite a good, and there's no doubt about that. Biaggi, now then, the man, well, going to Cadalora's ride for next year, and there is Cadalora right behind him. He doesn't really know exactly where he's going yet afterwards. So, Cadalora in 2nd place. But Biaggi leads. There's Pier Francesco Chili, bike number 7, in 3rd. Well, the stylish Chili.
Then it's Puig, then it's Reggiani, then it's Schmidt. Then I believe it's Capirossi next along.
Oh, Cadalora looked for the inside line and grabbed it from Biaggi. Well, that was stylish indeed, and Biaggi comes straight back, take that. Well, he might be world champion, but he's not going to be given any space.
These young boys, no respect for their elders and betters, have they?
Sounds fine to me. So Biaggi in front yet again.
Number 16, Alberto Puig has slipped back a couple of places. That's a different Aprilia in 4th place. He's misidentified 4th placeman, I believe.
Well, this has got to be the cleanest start we've had all day and the best freight train we've seen all day. That is the full 35, 36, I think, riders that started all in a line and not much time covering any of them. Look at this. Keeley is in 2nd place. Keeley is in 2nd. And Candelora is relegated back to 3rd, but still, it's the youngster, Massimiliano Biaggi, who leads, while someone else decides to go almost on the agricultural route.
I thought that was Puig, but there is another Aprilia up there going very well. I'm not altogether sure who it is. It could be Andy Preining.
Candelora looks at the inside line. Is he going to be able to grab it back from Pier Francesco Keeley? The answer to that is a resounding absolutely not. But Biaggi still at the front now. This kid's used to being at the front. We heard some criticism of media reports and building up hype as far as Biaggi's concerned, but Biaggi leads from Keeley, from Candelora, Van der Gorberg, we know not which one, from Reggiani, from Capirossi. Well,
it's Patrick, Keith, Patrick Van der Gorberg.
Well spotted Julian, but of course we have Jürgen Van der Gorberg in there as well. I know not how you managed to spot that from the monitor, but I'll work it out in a moment.
He was the bloke I thought was Alberto Puig. Of course, they are teammates in the exact software team. I just assumed it was Alberto up there.
Well, up there is Massimiliano Biaggi. I can think of 1 or 2 people that will be pleased about that. Not least his own team, of course.
And that team has a very interesting couple of propositions on the table for next year as Candelora looks at the inside. Wow. I think, oh, what a move.
What a move. You said it in one phrase there, Julian. Definitely, what a move. Real style of a world champ. He just snuck through there, no sweat whatsoever.
Loris Reggiani up to 4th, Capirossi 5th, then Van der Gerberg, Schmidt, Romboni, Bradl, then it is Alberto Puig.
And there was a man then, I think, that took to the dirt, unless there was a shadow that went across the grass. I could have sworn that somebody went in the sandpit then, but oh well. I either saw something that wasn't there or our director missed it. Biaggi leads from Candelora, from Pier Francesco Keeley. That is your front 3.
This looks like being the best race of the day, and I sincerely hope the 250s on a perfectly dry, if not perfectly smooth, track surface can give us the entertainment we've been waiting for. And certainly it's the big 4 at the front, the three Aprilias and Luca Candelora. This is the story of the year in 250s. The world champion-elect Luca Candelora would dearly love to prove a point over young Max Biaggi and the Aprilia hordes.
Well, we've already heard from our studio guest Andy Kershaw this is his favourite over the 500s, but I've got to say that that's not really reflected in the 250 championship. Well, Biaggi and Candelora having a real session here.
But the fastest lap has gone to Loris Capirossi.
So Capirossi there, you can see him in something like 4th place. So Capirossi, there he is, bike 6 in the picture.
He's just pushed past Reggiani.
Spit it out, Jules.
I'll put my dentures back in, please.
Yeah, they're on the desk. I don't like the look of them. I was about to say about the championship's quite widely spaced at the moment, and Candelora has already won it. Julian's got his dentures back in, so I'm sure he's got something to say about that.
Well, just to... here's a rumour for you, Keith, early season rumour. Telcor Valesi, the team that runs Biaggi and Keeley, I believe they stand a very good chance of running the Work Suzuki 250 effort next year.
Well, it's a good team, and certainly Suzuki's performance, it has to be said, has not been quite as great as we would have expected after 2 or 3 years of development there. As Capirossi, I still paused for a second to work out why Capirossi had his hands down. Well, one of them anyway.
Just a visor tear off, I think, as Candelora again puts the move on an Aprilia. That's why the man's a world champion. Biaggi tries to bite back by holding a tighter line. Can't do it through those S's. Luca, the world champion, leads again.
And that's the first time I've heard the Brazilian crowd actually squeak all weekend. Obviously, they shook off the rain that they've had this week, and that actually got them cheering. So Candelora is through to the front. The world champion 92 is through.
He was a bit miffed after Donington, Keith. He only got 4th place. He won the world title. He didn't actually take the title with a win. And I actually saw him leaving the car park when I left, looking anything but a man who just won a world title, because he just failed to come to an agreement with Honda for a 500 for next year. And currently, the man is a refugee.
And then, of course, he had to get stuck in the Donington traffic jam that's always outside there. So he must have been really happy after the Grand Prix in Britain.
Wasn't a happy-looking bunny.
So, good 250 race, though, Jules. It's got to be said, this is a real battle on here. Candelora just managing to get away a little bit at the front, and that's a bit characteristic of the man. certainly he... Oh, Massimiliano Biaggi hasn't read the script, has he?
Spot the young one amongst that lot. And certainly Keith Cadalora has got a break on the two Telcorvolesi Aprilias, but Capirossi, now they haven't got him, and Capirossi and Romboni do not have the NSRs they had at Donington. That was a one-off. They're back on their RS, more over-the-counter bikes.
OK, Cadalora off the front now, current world champion. He took it at the British Grand Prix. I'm going to hand you over to Jules, who just loves this man's particulars.
Oh, yes, something like that. Luca Cadalora now has defended his 250 world title. He has two of them to add to his two 125 world titles. And he could become the first man for, I don't know how long, quite feasibly, Keith, to get a hat-trick, move up and be a 500 world champion, maybe, in a couple of years, once the current two or three top men left have retired. Keith, do you think that's a feasible proposition?
Well, I think it really is with Cadalora. He's still just about young enough to be able to do it in the 500s as well. And I can't remember him, certainly not in modern times, where we've had a world champion in 125, 250 and 500. It might have been in the olden days. We'll have to get back to the studio perhaps to find out a little bit more about that. Cadalora then, fastest lap from Cadalora. That says it all, doesn't it? The man is in front, and that is only about 2.5 miles an hour on a lap average, slower than the fastest lap in the 500 class, if my memory serves me correctly.
I think it does, Keith. Normal service has been resumed. Luca has the fastest lap.
But look at Massimiliano Biaggi. He really is on the pace. The man in second place is right there still. He looks so quick in some of these turns. And Cadalora, where he looks like he's got away on part of the track, Biaggi is right back there. Although he's not going to be there for much longer. His Telcor teammate, Pier Francesco Gilli, in third place, is really all over the back of Max. Jules has got his head buried in his reference book here, I can tell you, in the commentary box.
The last man to have a 125, 250 and 500 world title, I believe, Keith, is Phil Reid.
Well, I did tell you it was the olden days, didn't I? I was right about as far as that goes.
Now, at the back of that pack, the leading pack, Doriano Romboni hanging in there well, Keith, on his RS. I know, I guess, Hewan's now asleep. I'm on the Romboni fan club again. That's sixth place, Romboni's in as Capirossi weaving, looking for... And Romboni, Keith, I interrupt myself, there's a novelty. Fastest lap.
OK, well, let's go back to the studio and have a word with John Peel. John Peel, you remember Phil Reid, don't you? He won a 125, 250 and 500 world championship.
So I believe, yes, Andy, this is what Andy tells me anyway. I mean, he's the man who knows all of these details in a rather horrifying and alarming way. If you ask him something like, you know, who took the first 5 places in the 1934 250 TT, he could probably tell you. Don't ask him, because he probably won't be able to, but you know, it's the sort of thing that he knows.
I live with one like that in this commentary box, you know. Julian Ryder knows every detail that can possibly be. Let's go to Andy Kershaw. You say this race is your favourite, Andrew.
Well,
perhaps...
I always say that about the 125s as well. It's these and the 125s that
Do you like to hedge your bets when you're making bets on these things?
Hey, you met Phil Reid?
I did, yes.
Do you remember it? That, what was standing in a bar and I turned around and then suddenly there was Phil Reid.
That's right, indeed he was.
Yeah, well, it's a classic 250 race, Keith. And
very good.
Biaggi to me looks up. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's Romboni going under Capirossi, isn't it? Biaggi looks a bit unstable to me. Whereas if you compare his style with Cadalora at the front, who's smooth and like people who are good at everything, like John when he's on the radio, you know, just makes it look so easy. Cadalora's so smooth, he makes it look easy. But Biaggi looks to be like, all over the place. He seems to have only one wheel on the ground most of the time.
You have something against Max Biaggi, don't you? I don't quite understand why this is. I can't imagine what he did to you at Donington.
You know, he's the best thing that's ever happened to motorcycle racing. And I'm saying, well, I'll perhaps see some truth in this when the man's won a race.
I've always hated the way that journalists stick riders up, and of course that's what's happened to Biaggi, really, and that's what you're commenting on. Let's go to Darren Dixon. No, I don't want to hear any more of this. Thank you, Andrew. Darren, a bit of controversy there about Max Biaggi. Give us your comment on the kid.
Max Biaggi, very, very good. I think he's, I'll go along with you, I think he's going to be a future star, this man. He might be a little bit erratic in this particular race, but I think the circuit tends to make the bikes do things that they probably wouldn't do at most circuits. But I think he's referring to Cadalora as being super smooth, which we all know he is. That's probably why he's world champion 2 years on the trot, and very, very smooth rider. I fancy the bloke.
Well, that's
you know,
nice
in the
to know.
future. Not literally, obviously.
Well, that's a part of you, Darren, that I never knew.
Nothing to be ashamed
But what
of.
about Cadalora in the 500? I mean, can Cadalora be a world champion in the 500 class?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that one.
Can Cadalora be a world champion in the 500 class?
Cadalora.
Cadalora, yes, absolutely. My pronunciation isn't
Yeah,
that good.
it's all that beer you keep drinking, like them bars. I don't know, they seem to struggle a bit when they go into the 500 class from 250s. Very few riders have actually made the grade, so I don't really know. Hopefully he will, yeah. I think he's possibly the one person that probably could at the moment, yeah.
Thanks, Darren. We'll get back to the racing because it's hot. Great comment there from the studio, Julian.
Yep, and Loris Capirossi keeps in 6th place. We see as we come back, he is just managing to hang on to the back of Reggiani. Romboni now in front of Reggiani, as you can see. And to me, you want to see a man looking desperate. Doriano Romboni on the yellow HB Honda, currently sizing up Pier Francesco Chili, is the man for me at the moment, Keith. I know it's boring you, isn't it?
Yeah, and everybody else. I just had it in my headphones from the gallery.
It's a conspiracy.
Second place. Reggiani there, 13, was well held up there by a couple of back markers. That really took the edge off his charge, even though he's going over the paintwork to really get all of the track under his wheels. Biaggi really has got what might just be the second place cushion that he needs. Biaggi looks good.
And certainly, Keith, I know Reggiani was held up there, but he's closer than he's been for a while. But it's still over 2 seconds. It's still a substantial gap. This man, number 13, Loris Reggiani, has to make up on Massimiliano. Max Biaggi in second. Is there time? Probably not.
Well, there's time, and I think you could have said that Biaggi's consistency, as we've discussed before, is, oh dear me, a man running out on the dirt.
Eskil Suter, the Swiss rider.
Well, a bit of agricultural farming going on there. We were about to say, or I was about to say, that Biaggi really, his consistency in lap times has been a bit suspect, but he's maturing very, very well, and I have every reason to believe that he has the consistency to hold this second place now. He's not going to fade towards the end of the race. He's certainly got himself sorted out. Reggiani is riding all over the curve, all over the lines to try and catch up with Biaggi, and still doesn't seem to be making that much of an impression. Of course, I could always be wrong.
And while we're on the next year rumours, Keith, I think I'm right in saying that Loris Reggiani has already signed to ride the factory Aprilia again. Oh, Max Biaggi.
Well, he is one hard man when it comes to the braking, and certainly he seems to really squeeze that brake very, very late into the turn, which gets the rear wheel aviated. Now, if you watch Cadalora, I'm sure he's not braking very much earlier than Biaggi is, and Cadalora, the race leader at the moment, 4 seconds in front, a confirmation there, all right on cue. He's much smoother over those bumps. He doesn't have the rear wheel aviated. He doesn't look out of shape. I've got to say, Biaggi looks just a bit of a desperado on the brakes at the end of the front straight.
What was a 2-second gap between Biaggi and Reggiani is now down to just under a second, Keith. So, oh dear, Max, please. That he outbraked himself, I believe, on the start-finish straight that time. Took a while to collect it all together again, and Reggiani has halved the gap.
Could well be, because I mentioned that he looks mature and he's quite consistent in his lap time, so he's going to prove that we're wrong. And look at Reggiani right there. Well, Biaggi's coming apart at the seams, isn't he? He's just got a few laps to go, 3 laps to go, and all the good work that he's done, and to stay right out there in that second place, safe from Loris Reggiani. Reggiani's turned the wick up, Biaggi's got a bit raggedy, and it's all back on again for a challenge on second place.
Just like in the Aspar in the 125s, the crafty old devil has come through, and we will now see whether Max Biaggi can really take the pressure.
Trackcraft then, we're going to the back markers. This really could be a do or die as far as Reggiani and Biaggi are concerned. Second and third, here they come through. They've got the tricky turn off the front straight, I should say. But, oh, I'm going to hold my breath for a second here, because this is going to get close at the end of here.
One either side.
One side, one the other side, and it looks to me like Reggiani's on for a braking manoeuvre for second place. No, he's not. Biaggi is a good braker. Biaggi does it. 2 laps to go. So Biaggi, second place, 2 laps to go.
Now that was a cool manoeuvre from a young racer. I was just wondering how he'd deal with the situation of dicing back markers in front of him and Reggiani hounding his every move. But look, Loris is so close to him now. There's got to be an outbraking manoeuvre attempted any corner now.
OK, while we look at this battle for second place, Julian, let's get back to the studio, and Andy Kershaw first. Andy, who's going to do it out of these two for this second place?
I'll stick my neck out and say my money's on Loris. I'll have £1 on it with you.
You'll have a pound. You're on for that. You're on for a pound.
John's got a rather controversial opinion on Biaggi, actually.
I think you've got it in for him. Let's go to John Peel.
Now, earlier on, I maintained that he was holding the others up. That's clearly not the case any longer. But this is much more like it, isn't it? This is like proper racing. Yeah, this is well worth the price of admission, this one.
And who are you going to predict out of these two, then, for this second place, John?
I'm afraid I don't think the man Reggiani is going to get past him, to be honest.
Good man, you're with me. Let's go to Darren Dixon and have a quick word with Darren. Darren, smile on your face. Come on, stick your neck out and your pound on the counter.
Biaggi, yeah, I think.
Good man.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I like to hear. OK, thank you very much, studio guests. We'll see you a bit later on. Back with the race proper. And remember, Cadalora's off the front in first place. He's controlling the race. But in second place is 29, Massimiliano Biaggi, with Loris Reggiani all over the curbs, all over the paintwork, and desperate as they enter onto the start and finish straight for the last time. There's Cadalora. He starts his last lap now. Coming down the hill towards the line is going to be Biaggi and Reggiani. And really, Julian, it's a question of whether Reggiani is going to do a do or die. I think we're guaranteed that.
But I do believe that very messy chicane he just executed there has lost him the race for second place. My money will find its way into your ever-expanding coffers, because I was in the Loris Reggiani camp there as well. But, Keith, back to the man who really matters, the leader, the world champion-elect, heading for his 26th career Grand Prix victory. 4 of them in the 125. This will be his 16th 250 victory.
Well, that's all good things, of course, and I've got admiration for Luca Cadalora at the front here, but I wish we'd get back to the back of the second place, because I'm not going to... I just can't believe what's going on behind this man, and we're not seeing it. That's the Brazilian camera director for you folks at home, not anything to do with us.
22nd career victory, of course. Just my mathematics went into Hewan mode there for a moment.
Steady on, boys, steady on. At least I've got my own teeth.
And so is this man, Luca Cadalora. He might not have a ride yet for next year, but he is reminding everybody who the class act in quarter litre Grand Prix motorcycle racing is. The undisputed master of his craft, Luca Cadalora.
But I can't believe what's going on behind him. We can't see it. There it is. Biaggi still in second place. Reggiani still in third. So, with back markers coming into view, but they're not going to count for very much, because here is the chicane for the last time. Cadalora is through. Biaggi still holds that second place. Reggiani is still third as Luca Cadalora charges down to take the 250 Brazilian Grand Prix 1992. The world champion of last year, the world champion of this year, takes the 250 win. Who's it going to be for second? Biaggi is going to take it. Massimiliano Biaggi takes second place from Loris Reggiani in third.
And I'm sure chicane, the penultimate time round, that lost that race for Reggiani. He made an awful hash of it, and Biaggi was able to take full advantage, and he was out of range of any challenge Loris could make on the last lap. Confirmation of the result. Luca Cadalora wins by 3.5 seconds from Biaggi and Reggiani. Romboni gets a splendid 4th place in front of it. In fact, an excellent 5th from Schmidt and Bradl. Capirossi 7th, Puig 8th, Van der Gerburg 9th, and Andy Preining gets the last point in 10th place. After Brazil, Cadalora rubs it in with another 20 points. Reggiani confirms himself as second in the championship. Keeley, Bradl, Puig and Biaggi. Biaggi comes out best. He promotes himself from 9th to 6th.